It seems like all public restrooms have a huge gap and it's really annoying. I am mildly offended. What? You guys don't have that? I miss the UK. What's up guys? Just me today, and I'm gonna start off by saying it has been a crazy week. Ethan's been working nights, so our schedule is like all messed up because he's also been working during the daytime at the house, and so we've had like no time together it seems like, even though he's here at home. But either way, it's been hectic, and so I'm just doing a video by myself tonight because it's evening as I'm recording this and he's off at work. So anyway, today's video is going to be things about homes in the USA that puzzle foreigners. Now when I first saw this, I must say it puzzled me because I didn't realize there were things that we have that might be strange to other people. I guess I just didn't think about it, just proving my American ignorance again, I guess. But anyway, I'm really curious about this list and what they show, so let's get right into it.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Charlie here, and today we're going to be looking at 10 things about homes in the USA that puzzle foreigners. If you live in the United States, I'm sure you see all the things in your home as totally normal. But around the world, people have totally different houses. And if you're not from the US, then prepare to be stunned by the weird things Americans have in their homes. Coming up first, we have single faucets.
Well, yeah.
In many countries, for example the UK, you have two different taps or faucets. But hop across the pond and there's only one. That's right, the American ethos is one faucet to rule them all. In many countries, you have to choose between washing your hands in boiling hot water or freezing cold water. Or if you're a genius, you can turn them on both at the same time and have medium water. But in the USA, there's just one faucet the water comes out of.
Which makes more sense to me.
This will be the case in almost every kitchen and bathroom in the USA. The reason why the USA only has one faucet is because their plumbing system is different from many other countries. In countries where there's two taps, water usually sits in a tank where it's not deemed to be safe. That's because the water's been sitting building up bacteria for too long.
Huh.
Next up is huge refrigerators. You may assume that refrigerators are all made equal, but that's simply not the case. One internet user said they did a house swap with their friends from the UK. When they got to their home in the UK, they actually had to call their friends and ask where the fridge was. When they were told, they were surprised as they thought their normal fridge was some kind of mini fridge. That's because refrigerators in the USA are huge or huge. Instead of them having one door, it's actually common for them to have two.
Oh, well, except for my case. I have probably an average size refrigerator, which I think is probably still bigger than some of the ones over there. I know from the houses we stayed in during our trip and the Airbnbs and such, the fridges were a bit on the smaller side, but I also felt like it was because it was a smaller apartment or something. Either way, my fridge only has one door.
They may also be kitted out with fancy gadgets like ice makers. And some smart fridges now even have screens, but I'm pretty sure most people in America don't have them.
Wait a minute. So that is actually really popular with the ice machines for sure, and then the screens, and then a whole bunch of other buttons and gizmos. I've seen that, but those are really expensive fridges. But I didn't realize you guys don't have that overseas like at all, or is it just like in really fancy homes maybe? I guess if you don't need a big fridge, it's not as necessary. I don't know. But it's interesting if we have more buttons and doodads than you guys.
The reason why is because American food is often sold in larger packaging. Not only that, people in America often buy more groceries than those in the rest of the world. Also outside of the USA, many people leave foods outside of the fridge. For example, in many countries, eggs, butter, cheese, and beer are left out of the fridge.
Ah, that's true. All those would be in our fridge.
Next up is toilets. Now, for a very essential room in every house, the bathroom. There are actually a few toilet differences in the USA compared to the rest of the world. First off, American toilets are much lower down than the ones in Europe. European toilets are usually much higher than American toilets for some reason. Some say the reason why America has low-sitting toilets is because it's more like how our caveman ancestors squatted on the ground. It's actually more natural to squat.
Wait, is he referring to Americans as cavemen now? I am mildly offended.
Squat near the ground to do our business. For some reason, Americans have taken this into account, while the rest of the world has not. But that's not the only difference about American toilets. If you're not American and go to visit the States, you may assume your toilet's being clogged. This could be hugely embarrassing, but don't worry, it may not be the case. That's because in America, their toilet bowls are full of water. Instead of there only being a small bit of water, the toilet bowls are usually pretty full up. This prevents the bowls getting too dirty and staining the porcelain white. This also means that American toilets smell better and they don't have to be brushed as often. But the downside is there's an increase in splashing, if you know what I mean. And finally, one extra difference about American toilets is sometimes there's a gap in the toilet seat. You may see these on public toilets or people's toilets in their homes.
Actually, most public toilets always have the gap, and it's kind of annoying because it's usually a really wide gap, and I'm kind of a small person, so I kind of fall in sometimes. Maybe that's too personal, but I'm just saying, it seems like all public restrooms have a huge gap, and it's really annoying.
If you're not American, you may ask, what is this? Well, the idea is, in public toilets, you're supposed to put toilet seat covers in. This provides some extra hygiene, but what about in your own home? Well, you can put things, for example, toilet seat covers over to make it warmer. That's right, you can actually buy fuzzy toilet seat covers to make your toilet seat warmer.
But yes, people
Next
do that.
up is single floor.
I think that's more of a 90s thing. I feel like it was really popular during like the 90s, but then since the 2000s it's kind of done away with and people realize, oh, this is not very hygienic having fabric so close to water that's just there constantly getting bacteria and other nasty stuff.
This one isn't about a single room in an American home. Instead, it's a fact about American houses in general. If you go to most countries, houses will have at least 2 floors, sometimes 3. But in the USA, despite their houses being very big, they're usually all on 1 floor. In the UK, these would be known as bungalows. They're actually pretty uncommon, but in the States, single floor homes are the norm. In the USA, homes are usually spread out horizontally, but in many places, for example European countries, they're more vertical.
I did notice that.
Next up is garbage disposals.
What?
Around the world, if you have food waste, you simply put it in the trash. But in the USA, you may put it down your sink. That is because in America, they have something called garbage disposals. Over 50% of American homes have a garbage disposal.
I've got
but
one.
They're pretty much unheard of in every other country. Some
Are
say...
they really? Wait, really? I did not realize that. I mean, it seems like such a normal thing for us to have a garbage disposal. Almost everyone I know has one in their house. I mean, a few people don't get them installed, but they know what they are. But they're really, really handy. Oh, that's weird.
These provide better sanitation and limit smells coming from your trash can. The reason why many countries don't have garbage disposals is because in-sink garbage disposals are banned in many countries. The reason why is because many countries don't want food waste added to wastewater. That's because it will use more energy again at a later date to separate it into sewage waste. And some sewage plants are too small and would need an upgrade to do this. Next up we have...
Okay, so for the most part, I compost most of our food waste. But that little bits that still get in the sink, it's nice to be able to just rinse it out and flush it down without worrying about it getting clogged in the pipes. So that's why I mainly use my garbage disposal. That's interesting though, I did not know that one.
Flags. If there's one thing Americans love, it's their flag. People from outside the USA will be stunned to know that kids actually pledge allegiance to the flag every morning in school. And if you travel around the USA, you'll see many homes with at least one flag outside their home. This may be on a flagpole or hanging off their house. This isn't something you'll see in many countries, but the USA have a strong sense of pride when it comes to their flag. And finally on the list of things about American homes that puzzle foreigners, we have ACs. In many countries, having an AC is not very common. And in some countries like the UK, you'll see things such as radiators to heat homes.
To be fair, when we were there in the UK during the summer, you guys really didn't need an AC. The temperature, even though it was hot, was really mild in the sense that it wasn't very humid. For some reason, especially in the Midwest, it gets so humid. Okay, quick story, I have to say this. Okay, so we went to the UK, we were there for about 16 days. It was during the first parts of June, and so it was pretty warm. So we don't get back home until like really late one night, and we'd been used to all that UK weather, so we get home and it's like 1:30 in the middle of the night. So, and as soon as we step out of the airport, we are just blasted by all this hot, wet air and it was so hot. It was probably 80 degrees at 1:30 in the morning, and we just like, as soon as we stepped out, we're like, I miss the UK. It was just like, oh yeah, this is home, all right. And that is why we all need AC, in my opinion.
But in the USA, ACs aren't just common, it's how they're used, which is odd. Instead of opening a window, taking off a few layers, or using a fan, Americans may keep their ACs running all through the summer. This is not the most cost-efficient way to do things, but it does feel really nice. One French man moved to Boston wrote online about his experiences in America in the summer. He said, "Why do you guys leave the AC on when there's so many windows?" He complained that many buildings he went into were actually too cold. And really, the reason why AC is left on is because it's all about the luxury. There's no need to worry about acclimatizing or changing clothing when you can keep your home exactly how you want it.
Okay, so that was interesting. There was a few of those that I was actually really surprised about, and a few of them that I kind of like, okay, yeah, I know that we have that and other countries don't. Yeah, the AC thing, I know it's kind of a controversial subject, but when you've lived in the Midwest or in America in certain regions, and you get a taste of that humidity, and then you also get a taste of what it's like to have AC, it's actually very refreshing, and it's really hard to just step out of that. Like, we can open up windows, but then you're letting in all that muggy, hot air in, and it actually makes it even worse inside your house. Now, thankfully, our house is actually pretty cooled down, and a lot of older homes used to have an attic fan, which is actually really handy because then you can open a window and then turn on the attic fan, and it'll kind of pull the air through the house, which causes like a natural breeze, I guess you could say, and it helps cool it down a lot better and a lot faster. So during the summer when it's cool, we'll actually open up the windows at night and run the attic fan, and it'll cool down the whole house during the night. So in the daytime, we don't have to have the AC on as high. We still usually do, especially during the hot months. But anyway, that's just kind of how it works in our home. Yes, ACs are very nice, but they are not cost efficient. And electricity is expensive, especially nowadays. So I understand why a lot of people don't want to have them or don't want to get used to them, because once you do get used to them, it's hard to stop. Anyway, I found this video really interesting. I hope you guys did too. Please comment below if you have any other things you've realized or witnessed that are foreign to you that are in America, because I'd be very interested to know if there's any other things that could be added to this list. And always remember to subscribe, because we're getting really close to 50,000, and I'm so excited because we really want to do something special for that. So please, please, please subscribe if you haven't already, and remember to like the video if you do like it, and if you don't like it, that's okay, I understand. Give us some comments down below on how we can improve, because we're always trying to grow our channel and do better. And again, this has just been me today, or tonight, whatever time you're watching. It's night for me, but whatever. Anyway, that's about it. Catch you in the next one.